2323. LA 21 12670. Offices in Baton Rouge.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Now, Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Holding down the middle of the day. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from Rouse's in Jubin Crossing on a Friday. Hope your Friday is going awesome. We're having a great time out here at Rouse's in Denham Springs and Jubin Crossing. Alex Bregman having a big get-together here for Breggy Bomb. He'll be by here in about an hour. We hope to have Alex on in hour number 2, but a ton to get to here from the Rouse's in Jubin Crossing, and thrilled you are with us back in the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio. We got Taylor Sharp and Casey Gaines on the ones and twos, locked and loaded until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Of course, we got LSU in South Carolina on the basketball court in Columbia. We have certainly got Super Bowl to talk about, LSU basketball on the hardwood tomorrow night at home. So we're packed for the next 2 hours and thrilled you're here. Appreciate everybody for being here at Rouse's. Of course, Alex Bregman again will be by in hour number 2. Can't wait to pick his brain about a lot of different things. But I want to start with Texas and Oklahoma, the announcement that was made that they are going to be entering the conference in the fall of 2024. So one more season for Texas and Oklahoma over in the Big 12. And then they are coming our way into the Southeastern Conference, and kind of what all of that means. The first thing that had to be worked out, obviously, was money. And it appears that that has been put to bed. Texas and Oklahoma are going to owe about $100 million to the Big 12. They're going to fork that up. A lot of that will be offset by the revenues that they get from joining the SEC. Plus, there were some games that are kicked around, including a Michigan game that Texas is playing where Fox can broadcast that and kick it back towards the Big 12. So the dollars and cents had to be worked out. Personally, I don't care anything about that because that doesn't affect me at all. It's the biggest hurdle for those schools. But I just want to know what it means on the football field and in the sport. And so that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And what it does is it kind of upsets the balance in the Southeastern Conference. Greg Sankey was on Jocks over in Birmingham with Cole Kubelik and Greg McElroy this week and said, look, most recently we've been looking at adding Texas and Oklahoma and creating a single division format. What that means is not two divisions, and there won't be an East and a West. We kind of knew that. So scheduling becomes the most important thing. As has been said many times in this market, obviously somebody was in the bathroom from Baton Rouge when they determined what the permanent opponents were going to be back in 1992, and LSU got saddled with Florida, while Ole Miss got Vanderbilt and Mississippi State got Kentucky. But that's been the case for 30 years, that LSU has had Florida every single year. Those permanent opponent games are going to go away, because you're not going to have a division and a permanent opponent. You're just going to have a round robin. I've said 100 times on these airwaves that if given the opportunity, not LSU involved, but if given the opportunity to go to any SEC game in the conference next year, whether that's the Iron Bowl, whether it's Georgia, Florida, whether it's Bama, Tennessee, any game I could be given a free ticket to next year in Southeastern Conference football, or I could go watch the discussion that unfolds when they determine who's going to play who in football, I would take that. I would take that ticket. Get me into that ballroom in Destin or into the meeting room in Birmingham or on the conference call via Zoom, wherever I've got to be to watch them hash out how you're going to put these 16 teams together and determine a football schedule. I want to be a part of that because you cannot possibly appease 16 masters. So I would love to see that. But that's the challenge the Southeastern Conference now has in front of it. And it's fascinating. It's very likely going to go to 9 teams. And long storied rivalries are going to be discontinued on a yearly basis. Yeah, you'll likely play everyone every other year, but some games that have been played forever and ever, amen, are going to go by the wayside. And that drives people nuts, I think, to an extent. And for me, and y'all know, if you've listened to me for any amount of time on these airwaves, you know that my first reaction to rule changes or playoff changes or anything that goes on, my first thought is, okay, how does it affect LSU? How does it affect LSU winning and losing? And that's immediately where my head goes to this. How does it affect LSU's chances to compete for championships? Obviously, if you put Vanderbilt on my schedule as opposed to Florida, my chances improve. And I'm in favor of that. So what is this going to mean for LSU? And you start with the rivalries with Ole Miss and Mississippi State and Alabama and Auburn and Florida and A&M, and you start to think, okay, well, what does that mean to you as a fan? And I think to some people it means a ton. I look so forward to the Auburn game every year. The Florida game is such a great rivalry and has produced so many unbelievable outcomes. That's the game. I would be devastated if they lost that game. Bama, we got to play Nick. We got to play the man. That's the biggest day in my entire sports calendar. I have to have that game. I hear that from people all the time. I don't necessarily feel that way. And here's kind of why. If you look back over the last 80 years of LSU football, which I think that pretty much encapsulates everyone's viewing experience, whether you're in the car with mom and dad and you're 9 or whether you're 85 years old and you're listening, that pretty much encapsulates everything. Well, there was a time in the 50s and 60s where you were playing Tulane and Ole Miss, and those were the biggest two games you had. And that's great. And then Tulane's gone, and as times change, Ole Miss kind of fades, and all of a sudden, we're in the 80s, and here comes big, bad Auburn. And now we're in the early 2000s, and it's LSU and Auburn to try to win the division. And you've got Florida, and Spurrier was there. Now he's gone, and you've beaten them the last couple times, and that's a huge game. And you got Auburn and Florida. Those were the two biggest games on the schedule when I was growing up. Not Ole Miss and Tulane. It was Auburn and Florida. And then Nick comes back, and he created a monster. So what does that mean? Well, if you want to accomplish anything, and at LSU accomplishing things means winning the West, winning the SEC, and going to play in the BCS or college football playoff, you got to beat Bama. That's the biggest game on the schedule for years. And clearly all of you that have listened to me over the last couple of years understand how I feel about the folks over in College Station. Well, ask me how I felt about them in January of 2011 when we played them in the Cotton Bowl. I didn't care about Texas A&M. I didn't know anything about Texas A&M. I watched them play a couple times in the Independence Bowl growing up. That's what I knew about Texas A&M. Now I despise them. It didn't take very long. So while there are some people that will be devastated if Florida comes off the schedule, some people will be devastated if we don't play Alabama every year, I understand the way you feel. I just don't quite feel the same way. Because if you take Florida off my schedule and tell me I got to go play Oklahoma every year, I can promise you it's not going to take me very long to conjure up some feelings about Oklahoma. And that's exciting. It's not like you're taking Florida and Alabama and Auburn off the schedule every year and you're replacing them with BYU and Washington State and Indiana. This is Texas and Oklahoma we're talking about. So from a rivalry perspective, yes, the pageantry and the regionalism and the history does mean a ton in this sport. But it can be replaced with a little bit of time. And for me personally, that's how I'll approach it. I can get just as keyed up for LSU coming out of the tunnel in Tiger Stadium with Texas on the other sideline as I can for Auburn. I promise you. I can. And so to me, this is an okay thing when it comes to the rivalries. Now when it comes to scheduling and what it's going to mean to the dates on the calendar, in my opinion, it would be a mistake on the SEC's part not to have Texas A&M and Texas play the last week of the season right after Thanksgiving. It's been a tradition for them. They're in state. They already despise each other. That game gets eyeballs. It's heightened now because A&M's had a decade head start in this meat market that is the SEC. And I think that makes a ton of sense. And while, yeah, there's been a nice rivalry between LSU and A&M, I probably exacerbate it, but there's been a nice rivalry there. That game has never standalone meant a ton. It meant coaches' jobs. Les needed it. Sumlin needed to try to get it. It meant it was a big deal in terms of not firing coaches. In terms of winning the West, no, it hasn't. That should be a Texas A&M game the weekend after Thanksgiving. And who does that leave LSU with? I don't know. The truth of the matter is that LSU, while it's enjoyed a rich history of of championships and tradition and moments and is a blue blood in the sport, has never had one true rival. And that's okay. It's okay to be really fired up when we play Auburn on September 15th. Maybe we play Bama November 5th. Maybe we play them November 20th. Maybe we play them October the 7th. It'll be just fine with me either way. They need to play Auburn at the end of the schedule. Maybe they put you with Oklahoma as a permanent opponent because in terms of tradition, perceived power, and level that you can ascend to, yeah, we're going to put Texas and Oklahoma with new partners. Texas is going to have Texas A&M, and Oklahoma's going to have LSU. Maybe that's the way it works out. I don't know. That's why I need tickets to that ballroom when they figure it out. But to kind of wrap a bow around it, I'm not grossed out that Texas and Oklahoma are joining the SEC. I think it's great. I think it's going to create more interest, more dollars, two great tradition-rich programs coming in. I think that's great. As far as old rivals coming off the schedule, I'll be okay. We'll see you next year. Just because you don't play in the swamp one year, you might be back the next year. Just because Alabama doesn't come to town one year, maybe they're back the next year, the year after that. It's like they're gone forever. It's not Oklahoma, Nebraska, where they just separated and never saw each other again. Same with Texas and Texas A&M for a decade. You'll see them. They're still in the league. I'm okay with that. And if we don't play Texas A&M at the end of the schedule and it rotates, or we're playing Mississippi State well, no, they're going to play at Ole Miss, but you get the point. Like, maybe they saddle you with Arkansas. I don't know. I don't need the game at the end of the year because we run the state. We don't have that, and it's okay. We've survived this long without it, and it's actually a huge benefit to us because of the recruiting advantage that it gives you in the state. It's a great trade-off, in my opinion, to have no competition in the state in recruiting and maybe an open window the last weekend of November. I'll live, I promise. But we were curious as to when this was going to happen. The announcement finally comes that it is happening. Texas and Oklahoma coming to the Southeastern Conference in 2024. That means, in my opinion, this schedule for the football season needs to be set in the spring of 2024, which means they've got a year, in my opinion, to get it ironed out. Maybe they can do it in Destin coming up this summer. That'd be fine with me too. But the clock kind of strikes midnight in the spring. I know in COVID, we put a new schedule up on the board in September. Well, let's try to get a little bit out in front of that as opposed to waiting all the way. But I think that the wheels are now in motion. We know the time that this has got to start. It's time to get the wheels moving and see what the scheduling lords over in Birmingham have in store. Hunt Palmer Show coming to you here from the Rouses in Jubin Crossing out in Denham Springs. If you're in the area, come on by. We got a ton of seats available over here in the deli section. When you come into the left, Alex Bregman will be here previewing his Breggy Bomb line of products. I can't wait to ask Alex what got him into making food products. Seems like a baseball player to me, but he's here and he's launching a line of products. So we're going to have Alex here in the second hour. Very, very excited. So if you're in the area, come on by. Alex will be taking pictures, signing things. We got some awesome food for you as well. So still plenty to get to here on the Hunt Palmer Show. Southeastern Conference Hoops preview coming at 1:30. I'll preview Texas A&M and LSU at 2 o'clock. Got some prop bets for you. Justin Jefferson received a nice honor last night. So locked and loaded. But when we come back, I will give you my Super Bowl breakdown and selection. I'll give you my pick on the game. That's next on the Hunt Palmer Show.
Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
LWCC is Louisiana Loyal, elevating and celebrating champions of Louisiana like Simone Malaz. Simone Malaz has dedicated her entire career to protecting Louisiana's coast and helping the state take a leading role on the world stage in environmental restoration. She's a leading expert on coastal restoration efforts and was appointed to the Governor's Advisory Commission on Coastal Protection, Restoration, and Conservation. She's a member of the state's Coastal Advisory Team, working with the Coastal Master Plan, and we know how vital the coastline is to our great state. Nearly 40% of the nation's wetlands are on our coastline, and we're responsible for the production of 20% of all the commercial fisheries and landings by weight in the lower 48 states. And Simone Malaz does her best to continue the fight for our state with our coastline. Simone Milas, a champion of Louisiana. LWCC Elevating and Celebrating Champions of Louisiana. If you know one, go to lwcc.com/champions and nominate someone, some nonprofit, some commercial entity to be a champion of Louisiana so that we can talk about them right here on the Hunt Palmer Show. Simone Milas, February's champion of Louisiana, presented by LWCC.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting. With a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think
for the Monday edition of Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. from Walk-Ons, the original Walk-Ons on Burbank, recapping a Super Bowl and looking forward to opening weekend for LSU baseball. It's Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. Monday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt Palmer 2 coming to you from the Rouses out at Jubin Crossing. Some awesome deals going on over here at Rouses. If you're looking to do your shopping for Super Bowl weekend, come on by Rouses. They got a value pack of chicken wings, $1.47 a pound. That is a hot price. Big pizza day coming up on Sunday. Obviously, when I saw this on the specials list, I was like, oh, well, we're going to have to make this happen because I am a sucker for Red Baron frozen pizzas. Everybody's got their kind of where they live in the frozen pizza world. I'm a Red Baron guy. I was a Red Baron guy when I was 6. I'm a Red Baron guy now that I'm 35. And they have got a great deal going on Red Barons. 3 for $11. You pop those things in the oven delicious. Come on by Rouse's Jubin Crossing, if not to get your groceries, to see Alex Bregman, because he's going to be here in about 45 minutes. He'll be signing autographs, taking pictures, and debuting his line of Breggy Bomb food products. And we'll sit down with Alex here in hour number 2. Very much looking forward to that. Speaking of the Super Bowl, we haven't really talked about it all week here on the show. I gave you briefly some thoughts yesterday on those that have the most to gain this weekend on Sunday. But the fact remains that this is, well, I guess I shouldn't say the fact remains. My opinion, this is a match of the two best teams in the league. I said entering the AFC Championship game that the Bengals were better than the Chiefs. I said that the Bengals would beat the Chiefs for a fourth straight time and that they would make it to the Super Bowl. And I believed that when I said it. And then I watched that game. I watched the way the Chiefs' offensive line played against a good Bengals pass rush. I watched the way Patrick Mahomes played even on a gimpy ankle. And I came away very impressed, obviously. They dominated that game really from start to finish. The Bengals made some plays, but the Chiefs were much the better team. And the Eagles have been the class of the NFC from the start of the season through the finish. They lost a couple of games when Jalen Hurts went down. Ho-hum, he's back. And he looks fine to me. So you look statistically, and it's some of the metrics that you're looking at in this game on Sunday, you've got the matchup of the best teams. We love upsets in sports. That's a ton of fun. But when it gets down to the end, you want the heavyweights in the ring. You don't want Georgia and TCU in the ring at the end. You want the heavyweights. You got the heavyweights on Sunday. The Chiefs have the number 1 offense, according to ESPN's FPI. The Eagles have the number 2 offense in the ESPN FPI. The Eagles have the number 1 defense in the ESPN FPI. The Chiefs, number 9 in defense. Both teams, 16-3 on the season. Both teams have scored exactly 546 points this year. Both teams have exactly 6 All-Pros. And neither of these two teams has trailed in the playoffs. Now, I would suggest that the Chiefs' road has been significantly more difficult. Jacksonville was playing well. The Bengals are a hell of a team. The Eagles got the Giants, who are – there's a reason Brian Daboll was Coach of the Year. And they played a team last week who literally did not have a quarterback. But still, these are the two best teams in football. So let's start with when the Chiefs have the ball on offense against this Eagles defense. Philadelphia led the league by a wide margin in sacks. It was, in fact, the third most ever. I feel like you got to throw the caveat in that, yeah, they played 17 games, and we get it, but that's what they're doing now. But third most ever. They're first in pass rush win rate and in sack rate in the NFL, obviously. But Kansas City led the NFL in pass block win rate. And I'll be honest, as a bandwagon Bengals fan, I'm watching that game 2 weeks ago, and I'm going, when are the Bengals going to get home on a pass rush? These guys have been good all year. Hendrickson, been great all year. They could not win. And you're looking at a Patrick Mahomes who's clearly hobbled, and they can't get to him. So Philly's pass rush is better than Cincinnati's, but that Chiefs offensive line is very, very good. Hassan Reddick, 19.5 sacks, including the playoffs this year. That's going to be a huge matchup to see if that Eagles front can beat the Chiefs and get to Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs have had 3 weeks to practice knowing that Mahomes would be gimpy. So they've got the screen plays in. They know he's not going to be able to do quite as much outside the numbers as he generally does, but he'll still be able to do some. But that's massive. Now, Philadelphia is also, on the defensive side, number 1 in the NFL in pass defense. I read a lot on this game this week, kind of preparing for it. And every time you read the nugget that the Eagles were the number 1 pass defense in the NFL, you got the caveat that because they were playing behind that pass rush. It just makes things a lot easier when the ball's got to come out and sometimes it's hit as he throws. But the Eagles number 1 in pass defense this year, and the Chiefs are number 1 in the NFL in passing yards this year. Now, this has happened 2 other times entering a Super Bowl where the number 1 pass defense played the number 1 pass offense. Seattle and Denver, and the Buccaneers against the Raiders, the Rich Gannon team. And both times the pass defense wore the offense out. Wore them out. Does that trend continue? We'll see. Now, when Philadelphia has the football, Jalen Hurts is best in the NFL at passes that travel 25-plus yards. And the Chiefs' defense allows the fourth highest passer rating in the NFL on balls that travel 25 yards. They have given up big plays. Joe hit a couple in the game 2 weeks ago. The Chiefs' secondary has been susceptible to that. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, we know the weapons that they have. The Chiefs' D has also given up the third most quarterback rushing yards this year. Jalen Hurts is as good as there is in the NFL at picking up yards on the ground. Chris Jones is the equalizer, though. We saw it 2 weeks ago. If you're like me and you're pulling for the Bengals and you're jumping on that bandwagon, you're pulling for Joe and you're pulling for Jamar, Chris Jones is a nightmare. Absolute nightmare in the middle. Can Philly block it? The good news for Philly, you've got an all-pro center. Jason Kelce, pretty good player. His brother, probably more famous. He's just as good. They're both going to the Hall of Fame. Can Philly deal with Jones and give Jalen Hurts some time? Because I think if both quarterbacks are under pressure, you probably favor Mahomes in the playmaking ability. Jalen is a little bit better at just working as things are moving forward. The Eagles' offense has just been a machine this year. Take it from a guy whose fantasy team had Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders and A.J. Brown. I followed the Eagles pretty closely this year. Their offense was very methodical and always moving forward and very often on schedule. That's where Chris Jones comes in for Kansas City. Can he force the Eagles off schedule? And so I gave a lot of thought to this game and to what my pick would be. And as I continue to dive into it and kind of just take my preconceived notions and then try to go into the statistics and the stories that I read to try to back it up and form a well-rounded opinion, I did continue to return to the fact that this game should be really good. Like last year, I could envision a game going to the Super Bowl where the Rams got away from Cincinnati. Kind of a Cinderella, a little bit of smoke and mirrors with the ridiculous offensive line. Anybody. Maybe you turn into a pumpkin and you can't block Aaron Donald and Stafford gets going and it gets away from him by 20 points. Now, that didn't happen. The Bengals were right in it until their last drive. But you could see an avenue to a blowout in the Super Bowl. I can't find that. These are the best two teams in the NFL. The Eagles have the best roster in the NFL, and the Chiefs have the best player. And yeah, he's hobbled. He's going to be okay. He's had 3 weeks. He was okay in the Bengals game. He was gimpy. He was hopping around, but he's going to be fine. And so, to me, that's the matchup. The best roster that Howie Roseman has restocked these shelves and created, and the best in a world-class coach who's going to the Hall of Fame in Andy Reid. And I finally settled on it this morning. I've been thinking about this since Tuesday. I finally settled on it this morning. I like the Eagles. I think they're better. I think they're more complete. Their defense is certainly better. Their offense has been phenomenal. If I had to play a game, would I take Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts? Well, that's not even a question. But I trust that Eagles offensive front. I trust the Eagles running game with Miles Sanders. And they've just been really good at making big plays. I like the Eagles to win this game. I like it 27-24. It might be a field goal at the gun. But I like it 27-24, giving Philadelphia. There was a time in my life where I was vehemently opposed to all things Philadelphia Eagles in my Cowboys childhood. Got Taylor Sharp back there in the studio. He's maybe nodding his head thinking, oh, Philly can't deal with it. I don't have that anymore. I don't really care about the Eagles. I think their fans are kind of funny because they're so out of touch with reality. Can't boo everybody and throw batteries at everybody. But I'm long past that, and I think they're going to win the Super Bowl coming up here And I think that would just be so massive for Jalen Hurts' legacy. I think it would be so massive for Howie Roseman and to restock the shelves to that extent after winning the Super Bowl 5 years ago and the whole thing down with 3 different coaches. I think it's going to be a hell of a football game, and I'm very excited to sit down and watch it. Y'all know I'm not Mr. NFL. Sadly, I'd probably rather watch Florida Ole Miss on a Friday night from Swayze Field than I would a Sunday November game between the Eagles and Chiefs. That's just the way I'm wired. It's not changing anytime soon. But that doesn't mean for Super Bowl Sunday with the best 2 teams in the league, with 2 really good playmakers at quarterback and everything on the line, that it's not going to be a sensational game to watch on Sunday. Very, very much looking forward to the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. My pick, the Philadelphia Eagles. Give you some prop bets coming up in hour number 2. We're out here at the Rouse's Jubin Crossing. It's a heck of a crowd out here, and we're waiting on Alex Bregman to show up. He's debuting a huge line of food products called Breggy Bomb. We're going to chat with Alex here in hour number 2. If you want to come out and meet the 2-time World Series champion, All-American, former Tiger, he will be here at the Rouse's Jubin Crossing out here in Denham. If you come into the store, we're just to the left, set up here. We got a ton of chairs hanging out, and there's going to be a lot of food available here. So come on by if you're in the area. We're thrilled to be out here on a Friday afternoon. Hope yours is going great. We'll be back a little bit more. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Football fans, FanDuel has the perfect way for everyone to get in on Super Bowl 57 action with a no-sweat same-game parlay. That means everyone gets bonus bets back if your Super Bowl same-game parlay doesn't hit. Doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel, if you already have an account, same-game parlays lets you combine all your favorite bets for a chance at a bigger payday. So start building your own or just bet a popular same-game parlay already made for you in America's #1 sportsbook. You can bet Jalen Hurts rushing yards, Miles Sanders anytime touchdown, Juju Smith-Schuster receptions. If you're new to FanDuel, you can sign up with the promo code 1045ESPN when you download the app. Either way, you'll get bonus bets back if your no-sweat same-game parlay doesn't hit. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and present in Louisiana, 3+ legs, minimum $1 bet required. Refund issues non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you someone know who has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on select new 2022 Ford F-150 trucks. $10,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting with a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus 2-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
On Mondays, OTB. What happened in the Super Bowl? We'll bring you all of the hot recap action. Also, did Coach Mulkey's squad manage to get it done on the road at South Carolina? Weekend winners off the bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
You're listening to Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hope your Friday is going awesome. Ours is over here at the Rouse's Jubin Crossing, waiting on Alex Bregman, who should be here within the half hour. I'll tell you about Breggy Bomb in hour number 2 when Alex sits down. Can't wait to pick his brain about a lot of different things. Come on by Rouse's, any of the locations, but we're out here at Jubin Crossing. If you're going to make burgers for Super Bowl Sunday sometime this weekend, they've got a great deal going on right now. You can get a value pack of fresh 81% lean ground beef for just $2.97 a pound. They grind it fresh in store every single day, so the freshest ingredients over here at Rouse's. Get your Super Bowl stuff for your Super Bowl watch party at some Rouse's location throughout the state. But we're here at Jubin Crossing, hanging out if you want to spend some time with us this afternoon. Matt Moscona will also be broadcasting here from 3 to 6 on After Further Review. He'll have Terrio, they'll have Bregman, they'll have a big old time. So if you're still working, can't get by here now, we'll be here until 6 o'clock. Rouse's on Jubin Crossing. We'll get you caught up on what the SEC menu is coming up on Saturday on the hardwood. Kentucky is headed to Georgia to take on the Bulldogs. Georgia started off conference play 3-1 and is flat falling apart. When you lose a ball game to Ole Miss, you know things are not going very well. It's Mike White's first year. They got the same issues going on over there that Matt McMahon and his program have at LSU, just trying to put together a team in year one and be competitive in the league. And they were early. They have not been late. Kentucky, 7-4 in the league, which is not awful, but they're not giving their fan base much hope that Cal's going to be able to turn this thing on. And I gave multiple kind of soliloquies on the State of the Union up there in Lexington, because to me it's interesting. Bruce Pearl's Auburn basketball program, not that interesting to me. Whatever's going on at Florida in basketball is not that interesting to me. Kentucky is. It just is. And because Cal was larger than life his first decade there, and they continued to file in number one class after number one class after number one class and pump first overall picks into the NBA and all-stars and all-pros, and that's kind of dried up over the last 5 years. And you got a team here that's returning the National Player of the Year, that's got 2 lottery picks on it. They're not beating anybody any good. So we'll see. They got to go to Athens and win. And that's just holding serve. But if this is a 6 seed that loses in the first round, there's going to be some issues up there. I'm just telling you. And we're a long way from that, and you can turn it on late. We've seen a lot of teams do it, but his team hasn't thus far, so we'll see what they can do down in Athens. The next game kind of makes me laugh. South Carolina's headed to the Pavilion in Ole Miss. I'm sure there are good seats available if you're in the Oxford area. South Carolina 1-10 in the league, Ole Miss 2-9. Ole Miss coming off a big win, so we'll give them credit for that. But I don't think it's going to be popping too much over there in Oxford. Look, that's 2 bad basketball teams there that will play on the SEC Network at noon. Just avoid it. If you got the channel changer right there, just ditch the SEC Network at noon. That is not worth watching. What is worth watching on ESPN at 1 o'clock is the Iron Bowl on the hardwood. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Auburn to beat Alabama in Auburn Arena tomorrow. I said yesterday, looking at Alabama's schedule, they're unbeaten in the league. Yes, they got tripped up by Oklahoma, but they have not lost a league game yet. There are still some stumbling points. They got to play Tennessee. There are some games they've got to play against good teams. This is one of them. And you know, LSU's seen this saw it twice in the Will Wade era. Sometimes you go into Auburn Arena and they just don't miss for 6 minutes. And people are hanging off the rafters in there. You can't deny the energy that Bruce Pearl has brought to Auburn basketball. They've had a team that was phenomenal and ran through the tournament. they've had teams that didn't quite live up to their potential, but all the while the energy's there because the arena's small and people like to watch the brand of basketball because it's exciting. And sometimes you walk into a buzzsaw in there. And if there's one team in America that's equipped to handle a buzzsaw, it's Bama because they can throw one right back at you. But I think in Auburn Arena, in this spot that Auburn's got a chance to win, I will take Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers to hand Alabama their first loss in conference play. I don't do so with a ton of confidence, but hey, got to throw one against the wall every once in a while. Vanderbilt's headed down to the O-Dome. I'm not going to call it Exact Tech Arena at Stephen O'Connell Center. I'm just going to call it the O-Dome forever. Vanderbilt headed down there. Great win for Vanderbilt against Tennessee. And as great as the win was for Vanderbilt, you're still 5-6 in the league. And it's not like Jerry Stackhouse just got there. So recruiting hasn't been awesome for them. It's Vanderbilt. It's not the easiest place to recruit to. But you eventually got to get it out of neutral. And they were in a really bad way the first 2 years under Stackhouse, Scottie Pippen and the band of no-names. But it's time to go. And your non-conference was bad. And now you're kind of treading water in league play, which is certainly better than being last. But you're still treading water. Go to Florida and win a game. We'll see. Contrasting styles up at the Tommy Bowl in Knoxville, Missouri, and Tennessee at 5 o'clock on the SEC Network. Tennessee coming off that tough loss at Vanderbilt, going home. Here's what's going on with Tennessee right now. I follow their program through the beat writers and podcasts and such because they do a pretty good job. They're one of the teams that I keep up with. I do that with A&M, with Ole Miss, Arkansas. There are a few teams in the league that I have access to some podcasts that I really like and I think do a good job. Tennessee's one of them. And the consensus in mid-January on Tennessee was absolutely this team has the possibility to win a national championship. Their Final Four good. You get there, play good defense. Maybe you can win a national championship with this group. That was the thought. And now we sit here halfway through league play, and that has waned significantly because they simply cannot score proficiently enough to make it through the NCAA tournament. It's not like the college baseball tournament where you can lose a few along the way. College baseball tournament, you can lose one game in the regional. You can lose one game in the Super Bowl. You can lose 2 games in Omaha as long as one's in your bracket and one's in the championship series. You can have those off days in Omaha in the NCAA baseball tournament. In basketball, you have one off day, see ya. Go vacation. And this Tennessee team is too prone to them offensively for anyone to trust them. Now, Missouri is in a great spot because they're a fun team to watch. They score a lot of points. They got a first-year coach. So there's juice in the Missouri program. Yeah, they went to Starkville and they couldn't score. So what? On to the next one. No one thought we were going to be any good anyway. We hadn't been any good in a decade. So Missouri gets a free swing at this thing. Can they do what they could not do in Starkville and create the tempo and get the offense moving against a great defensive team? I don't think so. I think Tennessee will handle them in the Tommy Bowl. But interesting that those two programs kind of different trajectories. There was a ton of optimism in Knoxville that's been sapped out of it. Fan base sees it and they're like, I don't know if it's going to work. And Missouri, it's a free swing. They're having fun in Columbia right now for the first time in a while for a school that fancies itself a basketball school that's come to the Southeastern Conference and shown no ability to play basketball. Game of the day for me in the SEC is at 5 o'clock on ESPNU, and that is Mississippi State going to Arkansas. Now, I'll be very frank. I found all the Mississippi State going to the NCAA tournament talk on Wednesday to be nauseating. You're talking about a team that's 3-7 in the SEC, that was 1-7 in the SEC, and you're going to tell me is a potential tournament team? Did you see the non-conference resume? They didn't play anybody. So that's a joke to me. They're not going to the tournament. But they're a tough out. Those two things can be true. They can be a team that's not going to the tournament because they're not that good, and they can be a tough out. And to me, they are. And Arkansas is still right there teetering on that bubble. Are they going to get it together or are they not? And right now, because of past history, you're prone to give Eric Musselman the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, they lost 5 of 6, including a game to LSU. But now, since then, They've won 5 of 6. And the one loss, they had a 3 in the air against Baylor on the road. They won at Rupp. They beat Texas A&M. They played Baylor tough. So what are they going to do over the next 3 or 4 to put themselves in position to make the tournament? Because you're talking about an Arkansas team whose last 3 conference games, as I've said a couple of times, at Bama, at Tennessee, home Kentucky. That's not the way you want to end your schedule. So you better make some hay while you can. And you can at home in Bud Walton against Mississippi State. But what do we know about Arkansas? That Arkansas can struggle to score. Mississippi State can put you in a vice grip if you struggle to score. Memory is somewhat serving me that they may have held somebody 10 minutes without a basket recently. I can't quite put it. Oh, yeah, Wednesday. We didn't score in 10 minutes. You got offensive troubles. You play Mississippi State. They can exacerbate them. We'll see what the case may be. I like Arkansas to win that game. I think Eric Musselman's kind of got things figured out with a really talented roster. And the rumor is that Nick Smith Jr. may play on Saturday. We'll see if that happens. Keep in mind, if you don't know who Nick Smith Jr. is, that's fine. He hasn't played since Christmas. He's a top 5 NBA draft pick. Arkansas has not had him basically all year. So that would be a big boon to the Razorbacks if they could get him. And if he checks in off the bench, Bud Walton's going to go nuts. That's your look at the Southeastern Conference coming up on Saturday. Come see us at the Rouses over in Jubin Crossing. Alex Bregman should be here any minute. He'll be hanging out here for a few hours. Matt Moscona is going to follow me, as you know, from 3 to 6. Ryan Terry will be here. Rouses Jubin Crossing, left side of the store in the deli section and outside. You'll see folks lining up. We got a great crowd. Lots of Astros jerseys, lots of Tiger jerseys. Alex will be here taking pictures, signing photos, doing all the good stuff with his Breggy Bong food products. So we're excited to chat with Alex coming up in hour number 2 as he hangs out with us here at the Rouse's Jubin Cropping. Hope your Friday is going awesome. Come back with us to finish hour number 1 on the Hunt Palmer Show.
This is Hunt Palmer. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls, Bands, and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting with a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Hanniger. Join us for the Monday edition of Hanny Time. We'll recap Super Bowl 57 plus a big weekend in college hoops. Hanny Time, noon weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Closing up hour one here, Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Rouse's over at Jubin Crossing, waiting on Alex Bregman to grace us with his presence. He should be here within the next 10 or 12 minutes. Still a huge crowd here that's waiting on Alex. He should sit down with us here in hour number 2. We'll also sit down with Matt and Ryan coming up on After Further Review. But I want to remind you guys, pro tip here. Valentine's Day is next week, if you had forgotten that. If you've purchased flowers before, you understand that can be a little bit of an investment. Rouse's is here to help you out. A dozen sleeved market fresh roses for $18.97. Under $20 for a dozen roses. Valentine's Day coming up. Keep that in mind, folks. Speaking of great things to give, the NFL had their end-of-season awards banquet last night, and a big one for Justin Jefferson. Jets wins NFL Offensive Player of the Year for his performance in 2022. Look, he's not going to win the MVP. Obviously, you saw that Patrick Mahomes won that. But Jets led the NFL with 128 catches. He led the NFL with 1,809 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns plus a rushing score. First team All-Pro for the first time in his career. He had 10 100-yard games. He had 5 at least 145 yards. You can certainly make the case that Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the National Football League. And by now, you know his story. You know Jet's story. He's probably, if his name is Justin Williams, he doesn't get a look from LSU. I don't know that. I've never talked to anyone on the staff at the time, but that's a guess. You get a little bit of a leg up when your 2 older brothers already made the team and made contributions. Coaches know the family. They understand that you got a bunch of good kids that are going to come in and do the right things. You show yourself to be a quality player at camp. You get an offer, and you come on the team. And then what he became was an absolute monster, one of the best wide receivers in the history of the program. And he's now the Offensive Player of the Year in the National Football League. And what do you hear me say time and time and time again? Anytime I get to pull out the old 2019 LSU football Tigers ledger and add something to it, I'm going to do it. Because that story is written from a college perspective, but not from a legacy perspective. We need to get the Bengals to a Super Bowl and to win one. That would be huge. We need to get Joe an MVP, maybe a Super Bowl MVP, and Jets and Jamar Chase to keep rattling off all pros. And then here, Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL for Justin Jefferson. Just a phenomenal year and a phenomenal start to a career for Justin Jefferson, and that just adds fuel to that fire of the greatest college football team in the history of the sport. And you know I'm going to bring that up every single time. And today seemed appropriate to do so. Got a ton to get to in hour number 2. I'll get you a preview of LSU and Texas A&M. Alex Bregman is going to be by. If you missed it earlier, we're at the Rouse's at Jubin Crossing out in Denham Springs. We're launching Alex's line of Breggy Bomb food products. He's going to tell us about that. Got a lot of questions to ask Bregman as well. There's a huge crowd here. Tons of LSU jerseys, tons of Astros jerseys, all waiting to see the 2-time World Series champion and former LSU All-American, and we're excited for that. We got 1 hour left here in my work week before I hand things off to Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot, but excited about hour number 2. Come back with us after Sports Center. It's the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on select new 2022 Ford F-150 trucks. $10,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls, Bands, and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting. With a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus 2-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Theriot with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Theriot and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Start your day with news and newsmakers. Start your day with traffic, weather, and local stories that are important to you. Kickstart your day every day. Mornings with Brian Haldane from 6 to 9 a.m. Weekdays on Talk 107.3.
This is Sports.
I'm Kevin Winter. The last time Tiger Woods played a non-major golf tournament back in 2020, the Zozo Championship. He competed in just 9 rounds last season in 3 of the 4 majors. The last time we saw him competitively was at the Open Championship last July at St. Andrews, where he missed the cut. It'll all change next week. Tiger Woods announcing on Twitter today he is returning to the PGA Tour and the golf course. He'll compete in next week's Genesis Invitational in Los Angeles. That tournament benefits the Tiger Woods Foundation. This week's stop is at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Coverage available on ESPN+. John Rahm 7 under par, leads Scotty Scheffler and Jason Day by 1. 11 games in the association tonight, including the Mavericks in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Luka Doncic going to miss his 4th consecutive game with a heel injury. That's news that is new into SportsCenter this hour. ESPN's doubleheader starts in Boston. The Celtics take on the Charlotte Hornets. Boston beginning life without Jaylen Brown for a bit. He suffered a broken bone in his face 2 nights ago. Back half of the doubleheader in New Orleans. Cavaliers taking on the Pelicans.
If you want to find quality new hires in the new year, post on Indeed. When you sponsor a post, you'll get matched instantly with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Holding down the middle of the day. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour number 2 from the Rouses out Jubin Crossing in Denham Springs, awaiting the arrival of Alex Bregman, 2-time World Series champion, defending World Series champion, All-American at LSU, debuting new line of Breggy Bomb food products. We'll have Alex sit down with us a little bit later in this hour to tell us about all that, and we'll talk some baseball as well. In some order in this hour, we're going to talk to Alex Bregman, we're going to give you some Super Bowl prop bets, and we're going to play Take It or Leave It. I can't tell you what the order of that's going to be because I don't know when Alex is going to show up and sit down with me, but we're going to get to all that in hour number 2. Come on by the Rouses here at Jubin Crossing. You can see Alex Bregman, take a picture, get an autograph. You can see us broadcasting here. Matt Moscona going to do after a further review from right here in this very seat, coming up from 3 to 6. And you can get your Super Bowl grocery shopping done. It's a huge wing weekend, as we know, with the Super Bowl kicking off on Sunday. You're looking for a value pack of chicken wings. $147 a pound. That's about as good as you're going to do, and you can find it at your Rouse's locations, including the one right here, Jubin Crossing in Denham. We're working towards the weekend here. 1 hour to go. We'll start previewing LSU and Texas A&M tomorrow. I'm going to be candid with you with this basketball team when I think they've got a chance to win and when I don't. And I certainly didn't think they had a chance to win against Alabama last weekend. I thought going to Starkville, if you played a good basketball game relative to LSU's performance this year, you could stay in it, assuming that Mississippi State had one of their very cold shooting games. This is a team in Mississippi State that went 0 of 18 from 3 against Auburn. They can be atrocious shooting the basketball. We saw that. They didn't score in 7 minutes against LSU. And so I thought LSU had a chance to go there and be competitive and win a game on Wednesday. They didn't. I'll be candid, I don't like their chances tomorrow, meaning LSU's. A&M is just playing really good basketball. And their November and December were terrible this year. It's just awful, especially relative to the expectations on the program being the way they finished at the end of last year. I will tell you this. Texas A&M last year to finish SEC play, over the last 10 games against SEC competition, they were 8-2. Now, that includes the SEC tournament, obviously, but 8-2 over their last 10 SEC games. And they're 9-2 in SEC play this year. That's 17-4 since February the 15th of last year. Say whatever you want about Buzz Williams. Say whatever you want to say about A&M basketball. Say whatever you want about the hire that Scott Woodward made there and whether or not it's working out. I'll tell you that right now they're playing great basketball. And that's the way that they've been playing since Christmas. Their offense has not been awesome. It's been competent and at times streaky and good. Their defense has been consistent, if not dominating, like Tennessee and sometimes Mississippi State are. but they play hard, hard, hard. They're old, and they're confident, and they're winning games. 9-2 is 9-2 in the league. This is an Aggie team that is second in the country in the percentage of the points that they get from the free throw line. They are number 2 in the country in free throw attempts per game. They are number 8 in the country in opponents' fouls per possession. They create contact. They are not the most skilled shooting team. They are not the most highlight reel producing team, but they're old, they're physical, and they know where their bread is buttered. It is at the rim and at the free throw line. They also are top 10 in the country in another offensive category, and that's offensive rebound percentage. So you get the point. They're not loaded up with guys who are going to break you down off the bounce, pull up from 12 feet, and hit a bucket. They're not going to destroy you from the three-point line. But they will get to the rim, they will make your life miserable, and they will rebound their misses and go right back up with them and create more contact. That's how they play offense. They are 277th in the country in threes attempted per game. They just don't need to shoot those very often, so they don't. Defensively, none of the statistics are eye-popping. But you know that A&M plays hard. They're 79th in defensive efficiency. That's fine. It's not incredible. It's not, it's not bad. Certainly not bad. They're 82nd in the country in opposing points per game. That's not anything outrageous. They don't foul, which is the best compliment I can give them. They're 324th in the country in fouls per possession, and that's about all I can say to compliment A&M's defense. It's just they play hard, and they will push you away from the basket. The heart and soul of that team is Boots Radford. He's from McKinley, right here in Baton Rouge. He went to Virginia Tech with Buzz and transferred. And he is to them what Devo Davis is to Arkansas. He's what Colin Castleton is to Florida. He's the heartbeat of the team, and they go as he goes. And he will see a spot where maybe the team's on a run, and he'll cut it off and knock down a big three. He will see a spot where A&M can take control of the game, and they'll do it. He's the guy that makes the game-changing plays. Yeah, Coleman, Duke transfer, nice player around the rim. Yeah, Marbles is a Michigan State transfer that gave LSU trouble the last time around. Wade Taylor, statistically, at an undersized guard, is the best scorer they have. But Boots Radford is their dude. And so for LSU, I'll continue to harp on what I've said the last 3 weeks. It's pretty simple on offense. You're probably going to shoot about 38, 40%. Maybe 33, maybe 41. But you're not shooting 56%. And so slowing things down is just going to create a situation where you score 50 points. You play slow, you're scoring 50. You might as well try to speed it up. Now, the problem that LSU is running is because they played better offensively against Missouri and Bama, playing more quickly. They scored more points in those games. Cracked 70 against Missouri, got in the 60s against Alabama, which sounds pathetic to even say out loud, but that's where we are. They were better offensively, playing more quickly. However, if you turn the ball over at the rate that they did on Wednesday, you're going to get your brains beat in. So while I thought that tempo and pace was something that I was trying to see that LSU could maybe create some good things, you have to do it without turning the ball over. And some of the turnovers, y'all, I just can't deal with. Stop stepping on the out-of-bounds line. Don't throw an inbounds pass to a guy who catches it and falls out of bounds. Derek Fountain, do not fall down on the right wing. None of that has anything to do with the defense that's putting pressure on you. None of it. Just take care of it. It would be one thing if LSU was out there with a bunch of freshmen running around like crazy people. They're not. Juice Hill is a fourth-year player. KJ Williams is a fifth-year player. Trey Hannibal is a fourth-year player. Now, he hasn't been out there a ton. But Adam Miller's been in college for 3 years. Derek Fountain's been in college for 3 years. Just take care of the ball. Cam Hayes, been in college 3 years. I'm not asking LSU to go out there and shoot 56% from the floor against Texas A&M. I am asking them to turn the ball over 10 times in the game total. If it's 8, 9, or 10, you got a chance to get enough shots up to stay close. If it's 15, 16, 20, you are cooked. I don't expect a huge crowd. Going to be chilly tomorrow, 7:30 tip. And you've lost, 11 in a row now? You're 1-10 in the league. I said through 11 games, when at that point I was thinking that A&M wouldn't be a great team. I was thinking they were the December Texas A&M. I said, look, if you can get to 3-8 through 11, that's all I was asking, 3-8 through 11 games, you could finish the last 7 respectably. And that started with A&M at home. Well, now you take that statement and you realize that LSU sits here at 1-10, so you're 2 games worse, and A&M significantly better than I had pegged them in December. Sorry, I didn't have. And quite frankly, I'm going to spend 10 minutes on every basketball game they play. It's just I got to watch them play them. And quite frankly, it sounds like my trip to New Orleans for Mardi Gras tomorrow is canceled because of rain. I might be in the PMAC tomorrow at 7:30. That's the level of sickness we're operating with here. But I think that's probably where I am. I do not, to go back to where I started the segment, think that LSU has a very good chance to win the ball game tomorrow because A&M is playing good basketball and LSU, quite frankly, has not since probably Wake Forest and some of the Arkansas game. Trey Hannibal really late in the Arkansas game. This February, 104.5 ESPN and Citizens Bank and Trucks are here to offer you a holiday rebate to the tune of $2,000 cash prize. We'll also be selecting a local prize winner to receive $1,000 in cash. Sign up now at 1045ESPN.com. Hanging out here at the Rouse's Jubin Crossing, launching Breggy Bomb, new line of food products from Alex Bregman, the All-American here at LSU, 2-time World Series champ with the Houston Astros, stopping by Rouse's. He is outside right now. Got a huge crowd out here signing autographs, taking pictures. We're hoping to sit down with Alex in about 20 minutes from right now. If it's earlier than that, that's fantastic. If it's at the end of the show, that's fantastic too. Got a ton of things I want to kick around with Alex, including when did you become a food guy? You don't have enough on your plate playing third base for the World Series champs. You're making a bunch of food products. You got hot sauces and rubs. Curious to see when that all started. Plus, I got a lot of baseball questions I want to get with Alex on coming up. So stick with us here on a Friday. It is the Hunt Palmer Show.
Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We all have our systems when we bet, from picking the perfect upset to combing through injury reports the night before the game. But there's one thing every bettor should include in their system: the responsible gaming tools available on the FanDuel Sportsbook. These tools help you keep your play in check and under control. Tools like time limits, so you don't unknowingly spend more time on the app than you intended. Wager limits to help you prevent from betting more than you should. And you can even take a timeout, which pauses your account for as long as you might need. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be about fun and entertainment. So visit FanDuel.com/playwell and make responsible gaming a part of your system. Must be 21 and present in Louisiana. If you or someone who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting with a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
All right, let's say ah.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're live at Rouse's in Denham with Alex Bregman, getting you ready for the Super Bowl. The Riot Radio Hours. Join us, 3 to 6, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You're listening to Hunt Palmer on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging out here at the Rouse's in Jubin Crossing out in Denham Springs. Alex Bregman is here signing some autographs for the kiddos and others in attendance. A lot of Astros jerseys, a lot of LSU jerseys. We hope to chat with Alex here coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. What I want to do at the moment is spend $100 on prop bets. That's what we're going to do here. I have decided, and I've said this a few times, I'm not a big gambler. I don't generally wager on sports. I love sports. I'm also cognizant of the fact that I'm not all that bright, and the folks that set the lines in Vegas and build the huge buildings that rake in billions of dollars a year, smarter than me. So generally speaking, I won't dive in. But I got a Super Bowl that I don't really care who wins, and I have gotten permission from the lady that I share finances with to throw $100 down on this Super Bowl. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is definitely what I'm going with as odds change or I get some information or maybe read something that might make another pick. But I'm going to throw some props against the wall and see what sticks here, see what you all think about some of these. So this will be a total of $100. We'll see if we can't make this work. I really like one of the first touchdowns of the game lines. I can get Jalen Hurts at plus 800 to score the first points, not the first touchdown, the first points of the game. This is a guy who had 13 rushing touchdowns this year. Oh, by the way, he missed a couple of games. So Jalen Hurts uses those legs a ton, especially in the red zone. And sometimes plays break down. Sometimes they run design runs for him. I think the shoulder probably feels better than it did 2 weeks ago, than it did 3 weeks ago. So I love Jalen Hurts to score the first points of the Super Bowl. I would put $20 down on that to win $160. I like that one a lot. Jake Elliott, he is a kicker for the Philadelphia Eagles. His number on points kicking, so obviously he can't run in a touchdown and help me out here. Points kicking is 7.5. I like the Eagles to score. I like the Chiefs to score some. So I think that there's some money on the over there. I like it. It's not going to net you a huge profit. It's only plus 104. Put $20 down on that to win $20.80. Kick some field goals. Maybe the Eagles bog down in the red zone, kick 2 field goals, couple touchdowns. You're there with extra points. I like it. I like Jake Elliott over 7.5 kicking points at plus 104. This one, there's a reason it's short odds, and I'm a little biased on this one because, as I mentioned earlier in the show, I had A.J. Brown on my fantasy team. I was keeping up with him. He's a monster, and they feed him the football. And the Chiefs are not great at downfield coverage. So A.J. Brown to have 25-plus receiving yards in both halves, not once, but both halves, over 25 yards receiving, I only need a couple of catches, maybe even one. So I love that plus 130, $20 to win 26. I realize these most recent 2 are not long odds at all, but I like them. I think they're going to happen. So I'll take A.J. Brown to have 25-plus receiving yards in both halves, plus 130, $20 to win $26. Now here's another long shot like the first one, which has good odds that can net you some cash. And keep in mind, all these odds coming from the FanDuel Sportsbook. Both teams score a touchdown on their first drive. Now, this is a little bit of a skewed statistic. I'm aware, but the statistic remains. It doesn't count every game. But Philly got the ball to start a game 6 times this year. They scored 5 touchdowns and a field goal. Every time they got the ball to start the game, they went down and scored. I like those odds. I also have on the other side Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and Pat Mahomes with 2 weeks to prepare. I like that. And it's plus 1,200. $10 to win 120? I'm in for that. I'll throw $10 at both teams to score a touchdown on the first drive. Now, in Super Bowl history, that doesn't happen a lot. These defenses are both pretty good. There may be some nerves. You know, there's a reason it's longer odds. I like, clearly, the others, the 2 previous to that to happen rather easily. But I like both these offenses with 2 weeks to prepare. Maybe have a chance to go get a touchdown, plus 1,200. And my last one is Isaiah Pacheco, his longest rush of the game. 13.5 yards. Have you seen him run? This guy can move. I love over 13.5 yards for Isaiah Pacheco's longest run. Maybe all it takes is him to get the corner one time. He gets the corner one time, that's 13 yards. Maybe you get into a penalty situation, you've got 3rd and 21, and the Chiefs run a draw play. Maybe there's a sellout situation because the Eagles are desperate late in the game, and Pacheco gets past that first line. Easy pop for 13.5 yards. Now, it's minus odds, minus 108. So I got 30 down on that to win 27.78. But I love that number. I like Jalen Hurts' number as well. It's 12 yards. And as I heard Bruce Marshall say on Jimmy Ott's show a little bit earlier, his legs are fine. Him getting 12 yards seems like pretty good odds. So I like some of those bets. You're going to get minus odds on them, but I kind of like them. So if I'm going to toss $100 down on this game on some of the prop bets, not necessarily side or total, here's recapping what I like. I like Jalen Hurts plus 800 to score the first points of the Super Bowl. $20 to win 160. I love Jake Elliott over 7.5 kicking points for the Eagles, plus 104. That $20 down to win $20.80. A.J. Brown, 25 receiving yards plus in both halves, plus 130. That's a $20 bet to win $26. Both teams to score a touchdown on their first drive. Now, those odds are a little longer, plus 1,200. Nobody's settling for field goals. We're going to get 6. But $10 down there to win 120. Even if my other 4 lose, I win on that one. And then Isaiah Pacheco, speedy running back there for Kansas City. His longest rush of the game, over 13.5 yards. I got to lay money on that one, minus 108. But $30 to win $27.78. Kind of like that one on a third down draw play. Sound good to y'all? I will take it. But those will be – I have the green light to put $100 on this game. I generally don't do that, but I'm going to do it on Sunday. Might put my bets out there previous to the game. I did it for the Burrow Super Bowl last year. Took 2 bets. They both lost. I had first points being a field goal. Got a Rams touchdown there. And I had something else. It didn't work out. But maybe this year is the year that we make it work. We're hanging out here at the Rouses in Jubin Crossing out in Denham. Alex Bregman is here, signing some autographs, taking some pictures, launching his new line of Breggy Bomb products. We're fired up to talk with Alex here in a few minutes. Look at the specials here that Rouses got this weekend. You know you have to do grocery shopping this weekend. Everybody's grocery shopping this weekend because we got Super Bowl situations to deal with. If you're looking to do some burgers, value pack of 81% lean ground beef, just $2.97 a pound. That is ground every day in-house by their butchers, and I gave this one in the first hour. I'm about to actually go over there and make this one happen because I love Red Baron pizzas. And even if you're not going to eat a frozen pizza for Super Bowl Sunday, to have one in the house, always a great thing if you don't have anything else to eat. And they got a great deal on Red Baron. My favorite of the frozen pizzas, you can get 3 Red Baron frozen pizzas at Rouse's for $11. You cannot beat that. Come on out and see Alex Bregman. Matt Moscona just walked in. He's going to have his show from 3 to 6. Ryan Terrio will be here. Alex Bregman will be here. It's a whole to-do with 104.5 ESPN here at the Rouse's in Jubin Crossing. So if you're in the area, come on by. We would love to see you. 30 minutes to go. Come back with us on the Hunt Palmer Show.
Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford invites you to check out the inventory, BayouFord.com. If you go to BayouFord.com, you're going to see right there on the homepage, don't settle. They mean it. You don't have to settle because your car is not on whatever lot you may have walked through. They'll customize the vehicle for you. 75% of their customers customize a vehicle. Get exactly what you want, whether it's the F-150, Explorer, Expedition, maybe you're in the market for a Mustang or a Bronco. Let them customize it from the color to the bells and whistles. Make it fit your needs. Turn it around in 60 to 90 days, and when it is done, they will drive it right to your front door with all the paperwork. That's the Bayou to you promise. The car and the paperwork delivered right to your home. You never have to set foot on the lot. That's the way car shopping is done these days. Every new purchase of Bayou Ford, a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. Get on by the website, BayouFord.com. BayouFord.com is the website. Bayou Ford, where they're going to do right by you.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting. With a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 20th.
For the Monday edition of Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. from Walk-Ons, the original Walk-Ons on Burbank, recapping a Super Bowl and looking forward to opening weekend for LSU baseball. It's Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. Monday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Working towards the weekend here. We're at the Rouses in Jubin Crossing. And we are here because, well, it's Super Bowl weekend, so everybody's got to come do their grocery shopping. But we're also here because we got Breggy Bomb, new line of food products from none other than former Tiger and two-time World Series champion Alex Bregman, who joins us now. Alex, how are you, man?
Doing great. Thank you for having me on. It's awesome to be back here in Baton Rouge, Denham Springs today, and then we're going to Lake Charles tomorrow. We're having fun. You know, it's great to see so many smiling faces, so many LSU fans out here. It's getting me excited for LSU baseball season about to kick off.
There's a lot of people excited for LSU baseball season around here. I want to ask you, I mean, you're an Albuquerque kid. You're now in Houston. But it was important to you to come back and launch this stuff and be a part of it in Louisiana. Why?
Yeah, because when we showed up here in Louisiana in 2013, I felt like this was home for me from the minute I got here. Just the way the community embraced me and kind of took me in as part of their own. And every single year we come back here, whether it's for a football game or a women's basketball game now, it's so much fun, you know. It's been a blast to get to see so many familiar faces and also some kids that were at the box back when I was playing. So it's nice to be here, and I'm excited about it.
All right, so we all know that you were here playing baseball at LSU, going to Omaha a couple of times. You've been in the World Series a couple of times, won that. We know your baseball exploits. What got you into the food line of products here?
Yeah, so 2018 we were in spring training actually, and a company out of New Mexico approached us about doing a salsa with them, and we thought it would be pretty fun. And then it kind of just turned on that entrepreneurial spirit that myself and my best friend Tyler, who's here, who we've had, and forever. And we started off with some salsa. It was in all the grocery stores in Texas and New Mexico, and Rouse's brought it in here last year actually, and then we were like, hey, what goes good with Texas and Louisiana? And we were like, barbecue's perfect. Let's go. We're always grilling out. We're always hanging out, having a good time. And I was not very good on the grill, and I wanted something that would be easy to do, very few ingredients, and I can make something I'm proud of. And that's kind of what we accomplished here with subs and sauces and stuff. It's been awesome. It's been a blast.
Got salsa, got your steak rub, barbecue sauce. You can find it in your Rouse's locations, and we're chatting with Alex Bregman here. All right, so best part for you of November the 5th, 2022, would that be winning the World Series, or would that be LSU beating Bama? What was the better part of that day?
Oh, well, if you saw my reaction on the field, you would have thought it was.
I saw that. I saw it in a post game.
But no, winning the World Series was incredible. Just a great. It's been fun being a part of that organization, playing with that group of guys. It's been special, and we've won a lot in the last 6 years. But the best part about it is nobody's satisfied. We're continuing to push forward and continuing to work harder than ever, and we want to win another one.
It's impressive to me as a Cubs fan. I watched them climb the top of the mountain, and guys got moved on, and the Cubs kind of fell off. Correa moves on, Springer moves on, and y'all still keep it churning. It's been really, really impressive. I want to ask you before we let you get back to the huge crowd that's here at Rouse's here in Jubin Crossing, your impressions of Dylan Cruz. We've watched a lot of really good players come through here. You're certainly near the top of that list. When you watch him hit, when you watch him work, what's his ceiling?
No, he's got an enormous ceiling. It's huge. That's why he's being talked about as the first overall pick in the draft. And I told our guys about him 3 years ago. Our scouting department, I was like, you guys can check him out. If we keep winning, you're never going to be able to get him because he's going to go too high. But he's an incredible talent. They have so many over there, and Jay's done a great job. And it's been fun to kind of be a fly on the wall now and kind of listen in to what their thought processes are and how they go about their business over there, and see some similarities, see some differences, and I'm excited for them. They're going to be great this year. Obviously, they're ranked number 1 in the country, and I think they all take that with a great honor, and they work their tail off every day, and I'm excited for that team. Got your salsas, got your steak rub, got your barbecue sauce, the Breggy Bomb line we're celebrating here at Rouse's in Jubin Crossing. Alex, congratulations on all the success. Thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. He is Alex Bregman. He's out here at the Rouse's Jubin Crossing, signing some autographs, taking some pictures. He'll join Matt and Ryan coming up on AFR, coming up a little bit later, but we appreciate Alex giving us a couple of times. For me, as a guy who grew up in Louisiana, who is an LSU fan through and through, and that's my only experience in life is following LSU. Of course, I love it when Aaron Nola from Catholic High in Baton Rouge becomes a star at LSU and comes back and does charity events in his hometown like we attended a couple of weeks ago with that Strikeout ALS. I love it when Leonard Fournette, who's a New Orleans kid who becomes an LSU Tiger and comes back to New Orleans and does great things with charity. I love seeing Marcus Spears, a Southern Lab kid, go up and champion LSU on ESPN. That's great. But there's also a special side of this thing when somebody who did not grow up in this ecosystem, somebody who came and experienced it as a teenager into a young adult, and it becomes ingrained in them, like Joe Burrow putting on the EAUX jersey and pointing to the back of it and championing LSU the way that he does, like Alex Bregman, who is from Albuquerque but came here to play some baseball for 3 years and then he was gone. It's important to him to come back here. That stuff means a lot to me, too, as an LSU fan, and I know that resonates with a lot of people who grew up in this part of the world with purple and gold in their veins. And Alex was at the first pitch banquet introducing Coach Jay Johnson a couple of weeks ago. He's here now, headed to Lake Charles over the weekend. This place means a lot to him. He comes back to football games, and he was just mentioning after the Astros won the World Series, which was, if you don't know, on the same day that LSU beat Alabama in Tiger Stadium, the Astros win the World Series. He's got the shirt on, the new hat on, the World Series champions, and somebody tells him on the field, LSU beat Bama. He goes, "No, what?" And the reaction to him in the middle of a World Series championship, for him to have that kind of reaction, it means a lot to him, and it meant a lot to us that he would stop by, because this place, if you can't tell, is absolutely jammed with people that are here to see Alex Bregman, to shake his hand, to get him to sign some autographs and take pictures, and he's willing and able. So if you're in the area here around Denham near Jubin Crossing, we certainly invite you to come on out to Rouse's. Get your Super Bowl shopping done, and you can meet two-time World Series champion and All-American Alex Bregman. Been telling you about the great specials they've got going on at Rouse's, all your locations, but certainly here at Jubin Crossing.
I saw this one, and it just immediately reminded me of my son because he won't eat like half the delicious foods in the world, but he will eat fruit by the truckload. And if you're like old Myers Palmer, they got 16-ounce pints Southern Grove strawberries for $1.99 here at Rouse. It's just one of the great specials they got going. If you're looking to put kind of a fruit board together as everyone's stuffing their face with barbecue and burgers and chips and dip and all that, and maybe you want a lighter option, Rouse has got you covered with that as well. We'll remind you that 104.5 ESPN's Big Game Contest presented by Heineken Silver, where you can win $50,000 in cash if your name is drawn from the pot and you've correctly guessed the final score of the game. We'll also be selecting a guaranteed local winner. The 104.5 ESPN Big Game Contest is presented by Heineken Silver. All the taste, no bitter endings. Get your score guesses in now at 1045ESPN.com. We got one more timeout before we pass the baton to Matt Moscona. For After Further View, we'll come back and play some Take It or Leave It Super Bowl edition with a little Lady Tiger basketball involved as well. It is the Hunt Palmer Show.
Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com is the website. We just invite you to go to the website, onebathandclosets.com, because maybe you can't have a hard time picturing what someone could do with the bathroom or closet that you've got. Well, David Duvall can show you on the website right there at onebathandclosets.com. They've got great testimonials, and everyone that's worked with David will tell you, look, he's going to show up on time. He's going to put together a plan for you. He's going to put together a timeline. They're going to cut corners. They're 3 weeks after the project's done to fix a loose end that they didn't tie up. They're going to do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. Whether it's a tub-to-shower conversion in your bathroom or a full-scale bathroom renovation, they can do it at One Bath and Closets. And we all know, whether it's ourselves or somebody that has got some issues with the closet. We're cluttered. We're bursting at the seams. We just don't have the requisite room that we need. Let David Duvall and his team come in and help you with the closet. If you tell them that the Hunt Palmer Show sent you to One Bath and Closets, they'll tell you, we're not going to charge you to rip out that current closet, and we're not going to charge you for the labor to install the new one. We're just going to charge you for the unit. Tell them the Hunt Palmer Show sent you. They will do that for you. The website is onebathandclosets.com. Again, onebathandclosets.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walk.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level.
On Mondays, OTB, what happened in the Super Bowl? We'll bring you all of the hot recap action. Also, did Coach Mulkey's squad manage to get it done on the road at South Carolina? Weekend winners off the bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
You're listening to Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And the baton. Hunt Palmer here with you. Rouse's Jubin Crossing. Been hanging out here all afternoon long. About to hand the baton over to Matt Moscona for After Further Review. He'll be joined by Ryan Terrio, and they'll have Alex Bregman on set. Appreciate Alex for stopping by very briefly. He's a busy man over here at the Rouse's and Jubin Crossing. He's got a lot of autographs to sign, a lot of pictures to take, and being gracious with his time. There's a lot of youngsters around here in some number 2 Bregman jerseys for the Astros and LSU. Alex is an awesome dude, and great to spend some time with us here on the Hunt Palmer Show. Taylor Sharp and Casey Gaines back there in the Mercedes-Benz Capital One Bake Studio would be my LSU pregame show. Mercedes-Benz at Baton Rouge Studio. Got a little bit of a delay, so I'm just going to handle the take it or leave it that Taylor so graciously sent me a few seconds ago. So let's see what Taylor had to say today. The first one, Lady Tigers by 50 on Sunday. Take it or leave it. I don't think they're going to win by 50. I'm going to have to leave that one. But I do give them a chance to win the basketball game. The beauty of it is that this is a free swing. I understand those of you that love the college football, you have to win the game or you can kiss your goals goodbye. That creates a ton of drama. That doesn't exist on Sunday, but the intensity will be there. This will be a full arena over there in Columbia. This will be 2 teams that are going to be playing exceptionally hard because the coaches do not like each other at all. They have both been at the top of the sport here for better than half a decade. Kim longer than that, but since Dawn Staley's come onto the scene, she's created a heck of a program over there. And I know that South Carolina's big. I know that Angel Reese is tough. I know that Alexis Morris has been great for LSU. We'll see. We'll know everything we need to know about LSU. If they go over there and lose by 21 points, you'll say, well, they sure have beaten a lot of bad teams, but when you face the elite, that's a bit of an issue. If they are in it till the buzzer, on the road, in a sold-out arena, you'll know that LSU is for real and they can win this whole thing. This is the first time they'll be tested by a big dog, and I'll be pulling for them. We'll see if the Tigers can get it done on Sunday in Columbia. Next one, we're take it or leave it. Super Bowl commercials, take it or leave it. I'll take it. I like the commercials. I think that maybe they've lost a little bit of steam over the years, but I'll tell you, the one that I thought was the most effective last year, not necessarily the best one, was the one that was just a barcode that hit the screen for 30 seconds. Now, they paid, $7 million for that? It's pretty effective. I like Super Bowl commercials. I'll be watching them. I think maybe 60% will be not very memorable, but for the 6 or 7 that are great that they debut, I'm all in for it. So yeah, Super Bowl commercials, I'll take that. Rihanna as the Super Bowl halftime show, take it or leave it. I'll take it. I actually know some Rihanna songs, which will probably surprise some of you. I probably can't name 3 off the top of my head, but she sings that Cheers to the Weekend song that I think is good. and she's a great dancer. So I'll take it. I'm not hard to please with the Super Bowl halftime show. I would probably rather a young, new artist, not that Rihanna's brand new or super young, but like as opposed to like a band that was awesome in the 70s or 80s that's going to get up there and like shred the guitar. That's not going to really do it for me. I need like pyrotechnics, somebody, dancing and performing a show. I care more about the show than I do the songs. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, you could get, somebody up there to sing a song that was awesome in 1979. I don't really care about that. Give me the show. Give me the lights. Give me the pyrotechnics. Give me the crazy dance moves, jumping off stages. I want the show, and I feel like Rihanna is going to bring a really good show. I thought Shakira and J-Lo were awesome when they did it. I'm not hard to please with the halftime show. I'm probably not in the top 5% of those that are taken in the halftime show. Like my wife will be locked in on the halftime show. That's not necessarily my favorite thing, but I'm in on the Super Bowl halftime show. I will take that. Oh, here's a controversial one, Taylor Sharp. I see you planting this one in there. Boneless wings. Take it or leave it. Look, this is a controversial topic. And I'll be quite frank, I don't give a rip what you call the food. If you want to say they're chicken nuggets and not boneless wings, fine. I'm taking boneless wings. That's a take for me. I love boneless chicken. Call it chicken fingers, call it chicken nuggets, whatever you want to call it. If boneless wings offend you, I'm sorry about that. But I like boneless wings, and I'm in on boneless wings. I like flavored boneless wings. I like to dip boneless wings in dip. I think the people that get so wildly offended. Now, here's what you can get offended about, quite frankly. This you can call me uncultured or pathetic or an idiot. You can call me every name under the sun. I actually prefer a boneless wing to a bone-in wing. It's less work. The only food that I am actively fired up to work for is crawfish. I'll peel crawfish and eat them. I'm not even that fired up to peel a bunch of boiled shrimp, quite frankly. And I don't need to gnaw around the tendons and bone of the flapper or the drumstick. Just give me the whole chicken wing. I can pop it in my mouth. Sorry. You can be mad about that. It's just the way I would prefer it. And if it would make you happier for me to not call it a boneless wing and just to call it a tender or a nugget, I'll do that for you, and we'll just smooth things over. But I'm all in on boneless wings. I'll take it. All right, Super Bowl watch parties, take it or leave it. I'm going to take it. Absolutely.
I'll take it.
I'm a little bit torn if it's my team. If LSU's playing Bama, quite frankly, there just aren't that many people that are going to want to be around me. I've said a lot of times, if you could have put a camera in the corner of my living room for the 2019 LSU-Alabama game, you would have broken YouTube with my performance during that game. There's no one in my house but me. I'm running around the coffee table. The language was poor to quite poor, if we're being honest. And that may be the environment that I need to watch LSU-Bama or a Cubs playoff game, because I'm just not that pleasant to be around. But if we're watching the Eagles and the Chiefs, yeah, Super Bowl watch party, I'm in. We're going to a wife's friend's house. You got folks that are going to be doing some cooking. I'm in charge of the quote-unquote bad dip. That doesn't mean bad flavor. It means bad health, nutritional facts. I think we're doing buffalo chicken dip. So I'm in for watch parties as long as I don't have a massive skin in the game. I don't need to go to my wife's friend's house that I'm friends with because they're friends with her to watch the Cubs play Game 7 of the World Series. We will leave that party, and they will not ever want to see me again, because that's poor behavior, and it's childish and pathetic. I can handle a watch party for the Chiefs and the Eagles, so I'm in for that on that one. And last one here on Take It or Leave It. Monday after the Super Bowl as a national holiday. Take it or leave it. A lot of people like to say this on the Monday after the Super Bowl because they're those of us that may have one too many pops watching the Super Bowl. Good thing is it does start at 5 instead of at 7 or 7:30 like a college football national championship game might. Look, if you expect a lot of your employees, if you're a business owner in the greater Kansas City or Philly area, and you expect peak performance from your staff coming up on Monday, you may be overshooting things. Us as a whole, I think we can get up and go to work on Monday. Like, do we want to get up and go to work? No. but I think we can do it. We don't have to call off the day of work and shut down production because everybody had too many chips and dip and 3 too many beers or 1 too many glasses of wine or got a little aggressive on the last bourbon pour in the second half. I think we can manage the Monday after the Super Bowl. So if they're going to give me a holiday, I'm not going to complain about it, but I don't need it. I think I'm going to have to leave the Super Bowl Monday as a national holiday. So that's your edition of Take It or Leave It here from the Rouses in Jubin Crossing. Been a fun 2 hours. You missed any of the show, you can always catch it on demand. 1045ESPN.com's on-demand tab. All of our shows are listed there on the on-demand tab, and you can go ahead and click them. All the audio is uploaded every day. Maybe you're an Apple Podcast or Spotify person. You can certainly catch all of our shows there, including the Hunt Palmer Show and YouTube. Those of you hanging out in the Bayou 4 chat, we appreciate you for being here today. All of our videos are uploaded every single day, and Taylor does a great job of cutting up 10-minute segments each and every day that you can get if you subscribe to our channel. Talked SEC football, Super Bowl, SEC basketball, Justin Jefferson in hour number 1, Texas A&M LSU, Alex Bregman, Super Bowl props in the second hour. You can catch that all on demand. That's going to do it for us here from the Rouses Jubin Crossing. Matt Moscona is coming up next. He'll have Ryan Terrio. He'll have Alex Bregman. Have a great Sunday. We're back Monday on the Hunt Palmer Show.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech